This nigga right here.
Wake up, count it up, get my money up, keep that semi tucked, cause I know I'm up. Wake up, count it up, get my money up, keep that semi tucked, cause I know I'm up.
What up, y'all? It's YT-Rahracer and welcome back to another video. And in today's video, I will actually be customizing the Vapid Slamtruck, which is actually the newest vehicle as of this week, Thursday, which is when the updates usually come out. Now, I am customizing this vehicle literally the morning of, which is odd for me at least because I don't usually ever upload a video on Wednesdays, and on Thursdays, my fault, and I haven't actually done one in a while. But I'm going to be customizing this vehicle because this was recommended that I should customize a new vehicle that does come out in the game. So the first thing I do have to do, of course, is actually buy the vehicle because this is literally me just hopping on the game. So the vehicle can be found on Southern San Andreas Super Autos. Now, for anybody who's wondering if this is the Benny's vehicle, it's not a Benny's vehicle. So you will have to go to Los Santos Customs and upgrade this vehicle, and the vehicle goes for $1,310,000, which in my opinion is a little pricey for what the vehicle is. You know, it's a utility truck car carrier thingy. Not even a thingy, but we'll just get into the part where I actually show y'all what the vehicle looks like. And on first glance, the vehicle is kind of small. I thought it was a little bit bigger, honestly, because I've been seeing a lot of videos of this vehicle already before, because you know people were able to get the source files for all the new vehicles before on PC, so people already knew what this vehicle somewhat looked like, but the hype around the vehicle wasn't really there yet. And of course, you know, people weren't really paying attention to it because A, it wasn't out, and B, it really wasn't really like that big of a deal when it came to the update. And it's a pretty interesting truck in the sense that it's really boaty. It feels like a truck, and I actually like how Rockstar has finally came back to somewhat having the vehicles not be able to handle that well, which is kind of fun because it also gives it that little like rear end drift, like, you know, like it has rear weight, which you can really tell when you turn it around the corners. You could actually see how much weight it has behind it, because I wasn't even tapping the e-brake. This is me actually turning regularly, and the car sounds amazing. Just off of that, I would buy it. But let's just get into the customization because I know this is what y'all wanted to see. Now, I think I'm pretty sure I left the timestamp for when this starts, so this is where it starts right now, and it's 21 options. Getting into the bumpers are really, you know, basic bumper. There's not really anything different about them from, I think, the Slam truck or the Slam van. And honestly, in my opinion, they could have added at least a couple more bumper options. Like that one right there with the bumperettes for this one would be amazing. But, you know, there's no engine block changes. And the exhaust is only 3 options for the exhaust, which is kind of weird, seeing how there's, if you notice, there's actually, the stock exhaust actually comes out from the side. So it would have been kind of cool to have, like, like side exhaust sticking up from that part with like this type of stack, like smokestack. But you know, I guess they weren't really thinking about that. Moving on to grills, there's a couple of grill options. There's nothing really different from the Slam truck itself. This is really more or less just a Slam truck with a long bed on it. There's not really anything different about it, except for when it comes to deliveries, which I will actually get into in a couple of minutes. But you know, in my opinion, I don't really see any major differences except for like the exhaust and maybe this. Now the hood, of course, is different. You have these side chrome pieces, and then you have the Vapid logos. I went with the old school logo just to keep it, you know, a little bit old school, because this is an old school truck anyways, because it is based off of a Ford carrying truck. I don't really know the name of it because I'm not really a big Ford fan. I will admit I'm more of a Chevy kind of guy. I'm more of a GM and Mopar type of person, so I'm not really into Fords and Ford trucks in general. But I do know this is a 1950. I know this is based off of a 1950s Ford truck. If someone knows the name of it down in the comments, I would really appreciate it if somebody put it there. But moving on, of course, we have the liveries. Now, even then, there are 19 liveries, but they're 19 liveries that aren't really that special. they're really just copy pasted liveries, which is really lazy in my opinion. You could have at least tried a little bit more. Now, of course, this is a new livery, and of course, you do have that little part on the back of the bed right there. But that's literally the only spot that's gonna have a livery on it. No other spot on the bed or the actual bed. Like, there's no race lines that run down the center of it, which is really bad actually, because I know that first strip only goes to like the end of the truck cab. I'm pretty sure it actually cuts off after the top part of the back window, which is actually a massive letdown in my opinion, because I actually really wanted this to have a little bit more customization, and for it not being a Benny's vehicle, it really kind of doesn't make any sense still, because it's not a Benny's vehicle, but by this point we expect Rockstar to at least somewhat customize, or at least not reuse liveries like this on this scale, because it's really just a copy paste of everything. Like, yeah, there's some specialty liveries that go with the car. Like this one right here, it goes with it. But like this one's just pure flat out laziness. Like, there's no crazy livery that you can put on this car. And by far, this one I wish was the craziest one, was the Benny's one. Now, of course, you got the Los Santos Customs one, which could be really cool for like, you know, like a role play. But this sadly isn't really a good role play vehicle, and I'll show you why in a couple of minutes. Cause it's, or I might as well just tell you now, you can't carry stuff on this truck. Just so that y'all know, you cannot carry anything on this truck. So don't even try to carry vehicles unless you have somebody that's willing to hop in their car, because this is also a purchase on a vehicle. So unlike the MOC and all those other vehicles, this is an actual personal vehicle, so you can't bring out your own personal car at the same time, which is a massive letdown, because you can't. It really kind of defeats the purpose of this whole vehicle, because yeah, you can't. You're supposed to be able to carry people or cars and stuff, because it literally has a tow hitch right there, but you can't use it. And I know why they didn't do it, because if y'all remember, there actually was a tow truck in the game a very long time ago, back on PS3, and I'm pretty sure on the early days of PS4, you could get this exact same truck. Not the exact same truck, but it was a version of this truck that was actually like a tow truck. And what would happen is people could actually just take people's cars and they would like just drive around with them, and you couldn't get it off unless you destroyed it, which would also destroy your vehicle. So I can see why they did that, in the sense that they don't want people going around taking other people's cars. But it also makes it to where this vehicle is literally useless. For what it is, it's a nice looking truck. It's more of a showpiece than anything. It's good for taking photos, but if you're looking to actually have something that could be fun to mess around with, like, you know, trolling people and stealing cars, unless you have a friend in the other car, then there's no point of even trying to do it. Because y'all will actually see in a minute that this truck sits up in the back so high, and since you can't use the tow hitch, you actually have to park the car on the sidewalk. So you have to park the car on the sidewalk and the truck in the street, and then try to drive the truck on, or drive whatever vehicle onto the ramp. Now, unless it's like a lifted vehicle, then yeah. But I tried it with a Tornado and a station wagon, which are old school low sitting cars. So like cars like lowriders, if you want to like have it sit low and try to get up on it, don't even try it, because unless you use the sidewalk method, it's not going to be able to even go on the back of the truck. But the only reason why I'm even talking over this part of the video is because it's literally just the paint. I'm going to go back into actually talking about the customization parts in a second. But I went with my crew color in a black with a white pearlescent, as y'all see on screen. In my opinion, it looks really good. And not a white pearlescent, a bright purple pearlescent. Now, I didn't put any liveries on this truck, mainly because I didn't really like any of them. And they just really didn't really suit what I was trying to go for. Now, of course, you have transmission. This vehicle actually can be used in utility races, just so y'all know. And I actually did test it, and I'll tell you all the numbers that I got in a minute. Now, the visors actually do work. They do sweep down past the window, so they actually are functional visors, which is cool. And I kind of wish that you didn't have that chrome piece, because it kind of forces you to have that little chrome centerpiece, unless you want to go with these. But after those two, I'm pretty sure the rest of them, literally, you cannot get rid of that chrome centerpiece. So you have to go with the chrome center spear. which kind of sucks because some liveries involve you actually having to delete that. So if you want a visor, then you're gonna have that weird like broken chrome piece right there in the center, or you could just go with the other visors that are also there. Went on the rims. There's nothing special. They're literally the rims that come with the vehicle, and then just standard Los Santos Customs rims. I went with the Gooch rims, because I wanted to get the white wall tires and the chrome rims, so they just have a little bit more of a pop to them. So I went with that look. I liked how that looked. And of course, y'all see there's different mirrors. Of course, I don't know if I actually went over that. I might have skipped over that by mistake. I apologize. But that's literally all that there is to customize on this vehicle. If you're buying this vehicle to customize it, don't. Because there's not a lot of customization. It's not really a customizable truck itself. And it can't even carry vehicles on the back. So, in my opinion, it's a nice truck, but I would not buy it. I wouldn't buy it unless it was on sale, because for 1.3 million, you're literally just buying another truck that can't do much. It can't even serve the purpose that it's designed to do, so there's really no point. The next few clips are just me showing y'all how I was trying to fit these vehicles on the truck itself. You would see how it actually would just slide off, or if the cars that I put on there were too low sitting, like if you put lowered cars on here, it glitches out the car tremendously, or the truck, my bad. As you can see, you can't even drive it up there because the bumper sits too high in the rear. And regardless of how you park it, even if you angle the rims, it's just gonna slide off. So I wish that there was an actual, like, it would have been so much better if they had it to where the bed actually would tilt downwards and tilt back up, so that the bed could just sit flat, and then you could have like a little rear gate to like block it from rolling backwards. But you know, I didn't really expect much from this vehicle. It's a Rockstar thing, and they're trying to make it to where you can't, you know, steal people's cars, even though there's stuff like Mark IIs that are tremendously overpowered. But I'm not even going to go into that. But that's it for today's video. I hope y'all enjoyed. Like I said, I would not buy this vehicle unless you saw it on sale one day. But if you do want to be the one person that does buy it just for the time being, just so you can say that you own it, that's fine. But in my honest opinion, I would not buy it. I'm going to keep it though, because I do like it a lot. I could see this vehicle becoming a wheel spin vehicle probably in the future, so if you want to just wait until then, I would just do that. But that's all I got to say for today, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Follow my Instagram at raw_racer for more videos. And if you enjoyed, hit me up on Instagram and suggest some more videos.